Okay, I'm going to try and redo this video because I was in the middle of doing the first one and my phone decided to ring, so it's on silent at the moment. I was looking at some of the European news and Juventus came up, and it's an article from last month. And since then, we know that there's been a change of manager because Thiago Motta went out, and who was it who went in? I can't remember his name. I think it was it was one of their ex-players, Igor Tudor. And he's brought in a new approach to Motta. I mean, for example, he asked players where they prefer to play. But in the summer, they bought Coop Miners from Atlanta, who we were linked with, and we were in a position to hijack that move. And they also bought Douglas Luiz, and they've not settled at Juventus, so they could move on. I'm sure I read last week that they were willing to listen to offers for Douglas Luiz. And Coop Miners hasn't been a success, so he could be moving on as well. So could we be bolstering our midfield with Choin Coop Miners, for example? Now, with Juventus wanting a midfield rebuild, they're looking at a player from Genoa called Morten Frendrup. He's a player we've also been linked with as well. It's been about a month since we were linked with him. And this is from juvelive.it, and the article was written last month, and it was by Roberto Nassarella. And it says here, this time Liverpool's offer is too good to say no. And what it says here, we're going to spend a whopping 30 million euros, which would be about, I think, 25 million pound. I'll check that for you. Alexa, how much is 30 million euros?
30 million euros is 25,658,582 pounds and 39 pence.
25.6 million pound. I can't do that in the evening because. So yeah, 25 million on this midfielder. He's done pretty well in Italy. Ex-Bromby. I mean, last season they've got here most balls recovered 122, successful tackles 131. He's played 30 times this season, scoring 2 goals, and he's got a total of 6 goals. Unai Emery's also linked with having an interest with him. Now the thing is with him, he's only just turned 24 last month. 5'9", 1m75. He can also play fullback. So he's right-footed. So he's been able to play left back and right back. So that's one reason why he might be handy. But he's a tireless midfielder. He's renowned for his ball winning, his defensive presence. His strength is winning duels, his tackling and intercepting passes. He's not as creative. He can get in the final third, but he's not as creative. Now, the problem with this link is how Slot plays. You look at the midfield duo that mainly would be further back, Grav and Maka. Could you class either of them like as a what was it they used, a destroyer? That's why we didn't go for say Hyugate, because of the way he plays. They're more of a ball player, and they're more of a creative defensive midfielder, so to speak. And Frendrup is far from that. But the links with him will maybe resurface due to all the changes at Juventus and them looking to build their midfield. I mean, Motta's would be more attacking minded than what Tudor would be. I don't know. It's an interesting link. I haven't heard them mentioned for some time. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Frendrup's a very good player. I think the one thing that stands in his stead, the positive that he has, is his versatility, being able to play at the fullbacks. But we have seen also Slot starting to use Endo a little bit more. Is that from necessity or is that for personal preference? I don't know. Would Frendrup be a sort of player you'd want to be able to bring on instead of Endo? Again, that's hard to say. But it's just interesting what they say here. See if there's anything else on him. No, that's about it. There's not much on that article, actually. He's a physical and technical midfielder, but it would be a bit of a... But the thing is, Liverpool.com says something about this move as well. Bringing in another number 6 option to cover for Gravenberch would be in most when the season ends. Wataru Endo has his skill set, but is too different to make him a realistic regular starter. Slot has barely used the Japanese in the starting 11. Gravenberch has looked very tired as a result of being overused. Because Slot prefers a certain style of play, which is fair enough. And Endo is not his natural choice of play. He has tactics and a methodology that he wants to use, which Endo is probably not the type of player that he wants to use in the style he wants to play. So he has compromises. Don't play Endo as a starter, or play him sparingly, maybe off the bench, or completely change your style of play. So it's the risk versus reward scenario, and it would be the same if they brought in Frendrup. Do you change your entire methodology and style of play to accommodate one player, or do you bring in the one player that will suit your style of methodology and your methods, your tactics, and your thinking? So I can see why Grab's been overused, but then I can also see why Slot should have used Endo more. But if he doesn't feel that a certain player can do a job and he doesn't have the belief in that player, you can understand the hesitancy to play that player. And much as Frendrup's a good player, would he offer the squad any more? Is he going to, if he went out and went to the club and Endo left, for example, in terms of rotation, are we better off than what we were? That is the thing. Are we still going to be into the same thing? We've got a player there that doesn't fit the setup that slot wants, so we're back to square one. There's no point buying a midfielder just for the sake of buying a midfielder if it's not going to work for the system. If it was Jurgen Klopp's midfield, I would say it would be a good buy, but this one I don't because of the way he plays. And I'm trying to explain why it's not a good move, and the links are there. It's just an interesting one. And then we compare him to a player that he could technically be replacing, which is Tjörn Koopmeiners. He's a versatile midfielder as well. He can play as a defensive midfielder, a more slightly forward, old school central midfielder. He can even play in the back line. He's very good at reading the game, so he can intercept passes. He can cut out, supply to passing lanes. I was going to say he can block. I don't know if they say block passing lanes or cut out supply, and I ended up saying neither. He can also win the ball back. He's very proficient with his tackling, and he wins a lot of duels. But another thing is he can bring the ball forward and break the lines of passing, and he can run forward. He can bring the ball out under pressure and do progressive carrying. So I read this article on Frendrup, and I look and thinking Juventus could be getting rid of a player to replace with another, and we're looking at the so-called replacement, and it seems like we should be looking at the player that's potentially leaving Juventus, a player that we were linked with originally a year ago. But I don't know if there's been any credible links since last year. There you go. It's just, I read the article as I've gone through it with you and looked at some of the stats and styles and whatnot. It seems like they're linking us with the wrong type of midfielder, but he could be replacing the midfielder better suited for Slot's style of play. I don't know. I'm not Arne Slot, I'm not Richard Hughes, I'm not Michael Edwards, I'm not a coach. I'm just a bloke sat on a sofa talking to you in a video which you will see on YouTube. What do I know, eh? Some may say I know a lot, some may say I know Jack. I don't know. But just reading this article from Juve Live and seeing that the players that might be going out from Juventus, and we're hijacking a player, trying to hijack a player that they're interested in, I think we should be looking at the other midfielder personally. But there we go. So is Morten Frendrup a player we should be getting or not? Me, I'd say no, go with the ex-Atalanta midfielder, but there we go. Thank you very much.